Okay, hello. I could not find a good walkthrough on this. This is Expedition 1's washer reservoir relocation for the 4runner. So, yeah, and their directions are terrible. So I'm gonna try to do this. So, not done this. So it's probably gonna be a lot of like, okay, do this and stop. So we're gonna get going on this ridiculously overpriced kit, and I mean that not nicely. So, all right. So this is right here. This is the air pump. I don't know when they started putting this on there. Emissions dealio. It needs to be moved because this is where the reservoir is going to end up, or the replacement reservoir. There's the old one. But we got to move this first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this hose first, and wiring, and then I don't know. Looks like there's a few 10mm bolts down there, but we'll get to it. Let's go. All right, there it is. Easy to get out. Like I said, there's a hose with a spring clamp on here. The plug right there. Had to fight with a little bit, but it's just, you know, your normal locking tab. 3, they're not 10mm, like I said, they are 12mm head. Easy pleasy. There's a plastic cover over this. Made it a little easier to get to the bolt heads. And then you're left with this. Alright. We're going to relocate the pump to back here. I'm not sure if the airbox needs to come out or not. But I'll try it without first and then go from there. Alright. Okay, I did pull out the airbox. It just looked like it'd be a little easier because you got to move the wire from the air pump and a hose that I've got over there. So you're left with sorry. This is a great video. Alright, you're left with these two brackets. And this is what the air pump mounts to. I'm about to look to see what their orientation is. But I'm assuming they use these two studs, and I can't figure out, well, one of them uses the two studs, and I can't figure out what the other one does. But, I don't know. I'm going to assume they're stainless. I'm not going to paint them. They start to rust. I'll pull them out and paint them. But, give me a second here, and I'm going to go look up and see what the orientation is supposed to be and all the other stuff. Stand by. Okay, we're going to go with this orientation, which is what it looks like in the picture. Let me pull the wire. So, like I said, these two studs, this is the shorter piece. You notice there's only one doohickey, one hole up here. And then there's I already put it down. You can see right there. This is the nut that holds in this bracket right here, this steel bracket right there. I think this is how it goes, and then the pump goes on top. Their directions show to put the pump on there and then put the brackets down. I'm going to try it that way first. I don't know. It looks like I should be able to get to these nuts pretty good. But if I'm wrong, I will correct it when I come back. Fingers crossed. Okay, it's in there. So the orientation for these brackets was correct. It's correct in the picture. For the online instruction manual, oh, by the way, they want to charge $5 for a hard copy of the instruction manual. Another reason why I'm doing this, and there sucks. So, some issues I see. So anyway, here, hold up before I do that. So you attach it to the brackets. They're 13mm head and nut, half inch. If you like that, they're probably 13mm. They're in a separate bag. This is actually a separate part of the kit. You can get it with or without, depending on whether you're equipped with it. So it's a separate bag. There isn't, for me, which mine's an off-road, TRD off-road, there was an extra nut and washer. I assume that maybe this bracket piece may not be on all the trim models, and so there's probably not a OEM nut back there. So that'd be why. Some possible issues. One, I may not be able to get the cover back in because this is the lid popped off. This is my differential breather. It's the ARB one, and this is where I mounted it. It's not touching it, but it does make it a little harder to get in. There's, you can see where my finger is back there. There's a rubber grommet that kind of gets in the way, or like it's basically so it doesn't vibrate. And there's also a plug wiring harness thing that clips into the fender right here, which is this. It's pretty big, you can't miss it. I pulled it out. What I might do, if this all works out after I run the wiring and everything, there is a piece on the OEM bracket back here where I think another wiring harness attached to it. I'm going to try to put this there if I have enough length, and I also think that might keep me from putting the cover on. I'm going to take a look at the cover. If it just needs to be trimmed a little bit, I'll go ahead and take the Dremel out and do that. Now I'm going to reroute the wiring and the hose. Wiring, I think, is just pulling stuff off of the firewall. As you can see, goes through here. It's not part of this. So this wiring loom, the split loom here, is part of it. So I'm gonna undo it from the thing, and it plugs in right there. Try to make it look as neat as I possibly can. Maybe even use this as where a wiring harness plugged into. We'll go from there. Oh, because I keep forgetting to do this. Why do I need this? Well, I have a front bumper on the way, and as far as I can tell, any bumper that has side extensions, wings, whatever you want to call them, when you trim the front bumper, it exposes the bottom of the washer tank, and you know, it's gonna get damaged. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yes, they make sliders. In hindsight, I probably should have gone that way, but I get OCD about stuff, and I just didn't want it hanging down there, and on and on and on. I don't know. I go down rabbit holes, and I just latch on to whatever I'm doing. So you did hear me mention about the cost of this kit. With the air pump thing, it's $330. Effing ridiculous. So you're asking yourself, why did I end up going with this? Because, you know, even given the cost. Well, some of what I'm about to say is null and void, because it was just hard to tell some things. The biggest thing was, so there's other kits. There's a Rago kit and Scarab, and there's one more. The Rago and the one I can't remember the name of have a welded aluminum tank that, well, it goes back in here. I was just worried that, well, two reasons why I didn't like those. The tanks are nice, and they're about the same price as the Expedition 1 kit. The biggest reason was I wasn't sure how they would mesh with the bumper that I got, because I do not have the bumper in my hands, and I wanted to kind of do some pre-work before I got the bumper, so that I wasn't sitting out here all day trying to wire up a light bar and a winch and do something with the washer tank. So I was just trying to do, get ahead of the game a little bit. So that was my worry. Biggest thing was the reduced capacity. I don't know what the OEM capacity tank takes. I don't know how much is in there. Sometimes it says it on top, but it doesn't. But this was like 3/4 of a gallon, a half a gallon, a quarter gallon for all these kits. And I'm like, that's all great and fine, but if you're on the trailer or something going through mud or raining or just anything, it ain't gonna cut it. I could go through that in 10 minutes. So this Expedition 1 kit says it has a 2-gallon tank. I'm looking at the tank right now. I'm inclined to believe it. Obviously I'll show it when I get it all in there. And it sits obviously right here. That's why we had to move everything. So that's nice. The third reason, and I didn't understand this in pictures, and I think I'd even found like maybe an older instruction manual or something, and it made it sound like the pump just like attached to the side of the tank in some way, with whatever, these brackets, because it really wasn't obvious to me in the pictures on the site. And hey, if I'm an idiot, I'll take the hit for that one. But I wanted to leave this space open for either a second battery or air compressor, and I think it was gonna end up being the air compressor when it was all said and done. A real air compressor, like an ARB twin or something. So that kind of kills that point because you can see what goes in right there. As far as the air pump goes, that's a down the road thing, so I'll deal with it when I get that far. With that said, I did find one delete kit. It's like $450, I think, $450, and it has the thing to fool the ECU. And for me, I could just get some people can get the block off plate, which is just, I guess, replaces where the hoses go into here somewhere. I don't know. I guess down in there. I really don't know. But the problem is I have emissions. We have emissions every other year, and they do check readiness. And if you just block it off, the readiness test it's not going to show complete, and then I will fail emissions. So the $450 kit, I honestly can't remember who makes it. It was the only place I could find that had some kind of, fool the ECU device. So I would need that because it will fool the ECU into giving it okay, everything's okay, and then you pass a readiness test, and then when the emissions inspector hooks up to the OBD port, all the readiness tests will show as great and awesome. So I'm sorry, I rambled. I forgot a few things in the beginning, so let's move on. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to relocate the wiring harness and the hose. I'm not quite sure how the hose works out yet, because you can see it comes off directionally here. I might have to spin it, get around the dipstick here. See what I mean? Like just spin it a little bit. We'll see. All right, stand by. All right, moving right along. I got the plug in. Hold on, I have the feed on this. It runs through here. These are actually the hoses for the sprayer, but it runs through right here. You're gonna have to cut it out, cut the wiring loom out of there, and then I just put it back in there because I'm not really sure where the hoses are going yet. And then this wire is also in the loom, and I should probably need to put a couple pieces of tape right there. Pulled it out and then wrapped it up in some Tessa tape. And I'm probably gonna put some tape right there, maybe on the other. Well, I don't think I need it on the other side, but you can see I ran underneath, and I used one of the tabs that were already on there for what was on there, and then ran it up there. And I got it zip tied. There's a ground back here. I wanted to do something. I wanted to put something on there or somewhere, but I can't find my zip ties that have the Christmas tree in. But I don't know. I guess it looks OEM. It's about as good as it's going to get. I'm going to do the hose next, and I'll be back. Okay, this is what I did. Here's the OEM hose. Ran it now next to the power steering reservoir. And this hose comes with a kit, and there's a union right here. I don't know that the hose clamps are needed, but I had them, and I want to find out later on that I'm wrong. But like I said, the spring clips. Honestly, I was about ready just to go out and get an entire length of hose, because this it pinched a couple different ways. I actually ended up pulling it off and running up through here and kind of get it the best I could. I didn't want it also in the way of the dipstick. Now, I don't think this will be in the way of the air box, but I still do have this. This does connect to the air box and everything, so we'll see what happens. I'll adjust as needed and let you all know. I actually haven't. I'm gonna try to put that cover on before I get any further, see what's going on. All right. Okay, now we're moving off into the uncharted waters. All right, you can actually pull the fill neck for the reservoir from the top. It basically just sets on top of the larger part. That's, believe it or not, that's dipstick if you've never checked. And then, sorry, you can see this little piece here. It clips into the core support under here. You can just peel up a corner, take some of those plastic rivets out, and then I don't know. I guess you just squeeze this together. Mine just kind of came. And then you're left with this. And the tank is actually underneath the fender. Can you see the hole? That little hole right there? Yeah, you can actually see the fluid in there. Then you get the bracket without the logo cut into it. Lay it this way. You see this little foot goes down and those little feet go down. And then you got this little thing here. From what I understand, a J hook is actually what holds the tank down. I don't know if it goes into there or here, but we'll figure that out. Because now that we've got this down, these are the supplied hardware in the other bag. Same 13mm head. They go into threaded holes there. And now we got to go underneath because we got to take the reservoir out. Which is actually kind of the reason why I'm doing this video, because the only one I could find, someone had a bumper on it already, and so the fender liner was cut. And I'm like, well, how much fender liner you got to take off? So I don't know. So obviously I'll get back to you. Update, I was able to get the cover on. I'm going to wait until I get everything in there to see if there's any trimming that needs, because I still have the air box here, and there's some wires and things. Might need to move some stuff around, like maybe this hose, or who knows. We're on this journey together, folks. We're on this journey together. All right, let's get to it. Oh boy. Okay. You'll notice I removed the plate. Not necessary. I did it because I couldn't find a bolt that was holding the tank in. Before we move down there, you see this wiring harness. This was clipped into a few places, down here and down here. And then there was a bracket about here-ish. You can't miss it. It sticks out, a little small metal bracket. 10mm nut on the front side. You can get it with a flex head ratcheting wrench. And then I just took the whole thing off. I'm going to reroute it, make it look pretty. But you're going to have to do it anyway. Because there's more, actually, that needs to be unclipped. This is all the wiring harness for the pumps and the hoses, as you can see here. All right, so let's go down and see what we have in the bottom here. All right. You can see you're going to make a mess. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Here. Let's see. I know it's not doing anything, is it? That light's in the way. That better. All right. Sorry. You do have to take the fender liner off. Actually, let me start with that. So, fender liner sits up. God, I'm on a roll today. Fender liner sits up here. I basically just took a 10mm bolts, and then there's a couple of those. If you've had a Toyota before, Toyota truck lately, those stupid plastic things that go in there and are possible to get out, and then you just end up breaking them. There is a trick to making those a little more user-friendly. You can actually stick them into the body. I can't get to one to show you. But anyway, you stick it before, so you would stick it underneath the fender liner, and then you can drive one of those little self-tapping 10mm bolts in there. That's what I did on my Tacoma. All right, let me grab the tank. So there are 3 bolts that hold the tank in, and you're going to get wet. There's just no way around it. So tank sits like this. This light, it's just making my life. Now it's all washed out. All right. Sorry, it's visible. So the tank sits up like this. Okay? So there's one here, which you get to behind the fender liner. And then there's one here, but so there's a black plastic piece that sits over top of it so that you can kind of see where it is. And you've got to pull out those stupid plug things. I don't even know what to call them. And then the plug is it just plugs into. There's 2 pumps, but there's one harness. So this is it. You just have to do that, and you can see that right when you open the liner, and it's just your regular spring tab doohickey. When you this, let me see. So this one's kind of hard to get. It's hard to see. You actually have to look up from the bottom, and you'll see, I guess it's like where the fender bolts onto the core support there. I'm not 100% sure, or something. Actually, it's probably not the fender, but it's up there. It looks, the way I saw it was I was moving my head around, and then I saw it looks exactly like the other two bolts. You'll know that it's there when you get the other two done, because it's going to, you can tell that it's something in the front. Once you undo that bolt, it should stay. It kind of notches itself up in there, but you know, once you do that, I mean, you know, that top is open, but so the pump, here's the pumps, and you'll see them on the side. You got two hoses here, and once you know, bring something down there with you to pull off the hoses with, I actually kind of improvised and I used a panel tool because that's what all I had, trying to hold the thing up. Once you pull this off, the washer fluid is going to start coming out these two nipples here. I mean, mine looked like it was pretty jam full. It wasn't too bad. I was able to get it down and kind of lean it over like this, and then I just dumped it out. I probably should have saved it, but you got to pull the pumps out. So I was like, I'm not going to save enough to make it worthwhile. So, all right, this is where we stand. We're going to have to pull these pumps out. They just press in. There's a grommet. You can kind of see it. It's dirty. And pay attention to where these pumps go. The plugs. I'll be a son of a bitch. So I spent some time looking for plugs because I thought I was going to have to extend these harnesses. But now that I'm looking at it, I feel like they might be exactly the same, which is contrary to everything that I read. Okay. Speaking of the wiring harness, while I'm here, there's a piece of wire loom and some wires. Well, actually I know. I think it's for extending the harness for the air pump. Supposedly on the 4runner it's not necessary. I mean, in my use it's just not necessary. But this is the, I kind of doubt I'm going to need to extend this from what I'm looking at. So basically, actually what I think I might do first is unhook the retainers and stuff for the wiring harness and the hoses. I don't know if you can see this, but it's all right here, right in the fender liner. And I just knocked the phone, but it's like right here. I'm gonna take all this off and then run it up to the engine bay, and then I don't know, I'll mess with stuff from there. It's not focusing. I'm sorry, this is just not my thing. This is why I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm just doing this to help people. I don't care about making money or making it look flashy. All right, we're gonna go step number 5 billion, and we're gonna get all that stuff up top where we need it, and then we'll flip the washer pumps over to the new Reservoir. I screwed up. I was pausing this thing and just going forward. Okay, there's the pumps. They have a grommet around them. You just kind of have to tug on them to pull them out of the OEM tank, separate the grommet and put it in the new tank for both, and then just press this in until it's flush. That's the grommet under there, and you can see the top of it. So anyway, and then what did I just do? Oh, you can plug this in. This is after I ran all, there was 3 wire retention clippy things, 2 down in the fender and then 1 up here. And so the hoses had these extendor pieces on them. I just pulled them off because it's long enough to reach. You can see here, this just slides on. It's long enough to reach. So now I'm going to put the tank down where it belongs and probably do something with all these wirings down here, all that stuff. Maybe make it look nice. Not sure how, but I'm doing it. All right, I'll be back. Oh, we're back again. Okay, everything's hooked up. The thing is sitting here, the tank. And here's where it gets weird. Just before I forget, you gotta take this thing off. You can see it over there. I took one out. It has these little things. It slides back. It doesn't do it very easily. I'm just warning you. And here's the problem. So there's a plate that goes on top here. You can see the drill bits. so you can see that possibly I am thinking. So right here is the J hook that goes down to there. Sorry, there's issues. So, okay, there it is. This sits over this hole. The only hardware I have left is some small self-tapping screws, and I can't tell from the pictures if that's what goes in there. It looks like it might, like the bigger self-tapping screw in a washer. Well, that's all fine and great, but how do you get a screwdriver in there? I might be doing something wrong. I don't know. I'm gonna keep messing with it, but I think my plan right now is to drill a hole right here, big enough to get a drill bit down. And I think I'm gonna, this isn't go through, I'm gonna have to drill it through, and then I've got a speed nut, one of, like U nuts, I don't know, I've always heard them called speed nuts. I'll show it. It should be able to go to this hole, and then I have a small bolt to go in there, and then it'll be a ton easier taking in and out. If I ever have to, I don't know, replace the pump or something. This is stupid. I seriously, I have no idea how they got a screw in here. I mean, I self-tap at that. I've got a right angle drill, but it won't fit in this space. So, I don't know. Anyone knows an easier way, please let me know. I mean, obviously it's gonna be too late for me, but maybe it'll help somebody else. All right, I'm gonna mess with it a little bit more, and then honestly, I've been looking at this for a while. I can't see any other solution. But again, I'm not the smartest pineapple on the tree, or pineapples on trees. Exactly. So anyway, let's get to this. All right, I guess I'm done. That's bullshit. So what I did was I put a hole up here so I could get a drill bit down through here, because I don't know if I said it or not, but this hole for me was not all the way through. So I'm guessing that's what that self-tapping screw is for. Like I said, I have no idea how they even got it in, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. Sorry about this black goo. That's touch-up paint that has, I don't know what happened. At any rate, I was just trying to cover the bare metal. So what it'll do is drill through. So I found like I don't know, kind of a larger self-tapping bolt, and just drove that through. I'm not quite sure how much I recommend it. My speed nut idea didn't, kind of worked, but kind of didn't. But I don't know. I'll keep an eye on this. It's all going to be covered by that piece that goes up here anyway. And there's quite a bit of tension on this. I don't know why. I mean, you can see, look how much that's about as much as I feel comfortable getting that nut on the J-hook, just like a battery hold down. Kind of disappointed in this entire kit, quite honestly. It is definitely not worth $330 for sure. I don't know what to tell you, man. If you've gotten this far, you're in the same boat I am. I was going to try to do something on my own. I was going to try and just get like a universal tank and bolt it to the side of the fender wall there. And just, you know, there's a lot of tanks. Wasn't 100% sure what would fit, and on and on and on. And I'm the type of person, like, if someone makes it, why should I bother trying to make it? This is not going to turn out the way I see it in my head. But anyway, so that's where I stand. I'm going to get the air box back in. I guess I got to go up and get some windshield washer fluid, because I dumped everything that was in the OEM one out. I'll probably come back, show you the finished product. But if I don't remember, if you have any questions, just post them. I'm pretty responsive, so yeah. All right, I guess I'm done. That's bullshit. So what I did was I put a hole up here so I could get a drill bit down through here, because I don't know if I said it or not, but this hole for me was not all the way through. So I'm guessing that's what that self-tapping screw is for. Like I said, I have no idea how they even got it in, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. Sorry about this black goo. That's touch-up paint that has, I don't know what happened. At any rate, I was just trying to cover the bare metal. So what it'll do is drill through. So I found like I don't know, kind of a larger self-tapping bolt and just drove that through. I'm not quite sure how much I recommend it. My speed nut idea didn't kind of worked, but kind of didn't. But I don't know. I'll keep an eye on this. It's all going to be covered by that piece that goes up here anyway. And there's quite a bit of tension on this. I don't know why. I mean, you can see, look how much that's about as much as I feel comfortable getting that nut on the J-hook, just like a battery hold down. Kind of disappointed in this entire kit, quite honestly. It is definitely not worth $330 for sure. I don't know what to tell you, man. If you've gotten this far, you're in the same boat I am. I was going to try to do something on my own. I was going to try and just get like a universal tank and bolt it to the side of the fender wall there, and just there's a lot of tanks. Wasn't 100% sure what would fit, and on and on and on. And I'm the type of person, like, if someone makes it, why should I bother trying to make it? This is not going to turn out the way I see it in my head. But anyway, so that's where I stand. I'm going to get the air box back in. I guess I got to go up and get some windshield washer fluid, because I dumped everything that was in the OEM one out. I'll probably come back, show you the finished product. But if I don't remember, if you have any questions, just post them. I'm pretty responsive, so yeah. Let's try that again. So I just realized that I went back and looked at some of the videos. I'm sorry. This is a garbage video. But if you can get something from it and it helps you, because I can tell you the instructions that they provide you are garbage. So anyway, yeah, the cover was able to fit back on with no trimming. I was able to secure that like larger plug thing, the one I pulled off the side of the fender there. Unfortunately, I guess I got too rough with the OEM attache thing, and so I just had to zip tie it. No big deal. You can kind of see where I ran the wire in front of the pump there. I had to do a little finagling for that. Not a big deal, I guess. It's all because this stuff is all in the same loom, and so it's just in this. I don't even have it attached to the second securing point. I actually just took it off because it's not going to work. It's like over here somewhere. Another thing not in the instructions, trim this. This is just the weather stripping, the little trim piece that I took off to get in there. It doesn't say that in the instructions either, but I just don't. I think even in the instructions they show it just press back in there, which is awesome. It's not awesome. You can see, I mean, this goes down. That's, that's the end of it right there. So you're trying to push it over there. It's just not pleasant. This is a pain in the ass as it is. Like I said, I had like a larger self-tapping-ish bolt back in there. I have no idea how well it's going to work. Hopefully it lasts forever. If not, I do have a backup plan. I just didn't like it. It was just too much. I just gotta go get some windshield washer fluid and fill it. My final thoughts: if you're capable of fabricating and you don't mind making stuff, just do it on your own. This is this is a premium price, and I expect a premium kit with good installation instructions. As crappy as this video is, my instructions are way better. Yes, it's 30 minutes, but I tried to go through this and make sure that the shortcomings of the instructions are taken care of. Again, If you have any questions, post below. I'm pretty responsive. Will warn you, my memory is garbage. So if it's, I know it's going to take me a while to post this video because I got to splice all these pieces together. But I do what I can. I will do my best to help you. I hate, this is actually, this experience is a small example of why I'm ready to stop modifying vehicles, because I'm tired of paying money for stuff and then having to fabricate and fix their shortcomings. So, and it just keeps getting more and more prevalent. And I'm a little shocked from a company like Expedition One. It's my first experience with them. I almost bought one of their bumpers for my Tacoma. I decided their premium price was a little too premium, and the differences weren't enough to make me want to buy it. And this little thing, I will probably never buy anything from them again. It was terrible. Anyway, questions, whatever. Have fun. Go out, get dirty. You can tell that I've gotten dirty. And I'll see you in the next video.